Hello, Pokemon fans. Welcome back to Tuesday Night Pokemon, where we are having sort of a casual Pokemon night. I am one of your hosts, John, joined by
Max Johnson. We're just going to do best of one night, league night tonight. Hopefully see some fun matchups. Got a lot of juniors and seniors here at league tonight, so I think we're going to try to showcase some of those matchups.
You got it. Stick around. You got time to get some snacks. We'll be starting in a couple minutes here, and we'll be right back with the first matchup. Stick around.
Zone that attaches energy from the top of the deck.
Blast from the past.
A little blast from the past action. Should be a fun matchup. Star Chronos, pretty good attack into Miraidon. It does 220.
All right, that's exactly what you need. It fixes the math a little bit. I see Corinne, though, already getting the Raichu down, going through her deck. She does have Iron Hands on the bench, probably looking for hunting down a single-price Pokemon, so she can use that amp very much and take two. But because this is a juniors game, we're going to go a little bit light on the rules here. Maybe let some things slide because it's casual night. I'm just excited to see kind of what they do and how they play.
Yeah, should be good. Corinne, very good player. Just locked up her Worlds invite this weekend at San Antonio. So pretty impressive stuff from Corinne here.
We were really excited when we heard she got those 60 points. She needed just 60 left. She was maxed out at 390 locally. She got them. She is invited officially to Honolulu, Hawaii to play Pokemon, which is just insane to actually say. Max, you were in Japan, though. You were a Worlds attendee last year.
Yeah. World's super great experience. It's a ton of fun. Anyone who loves Pokemon, anything Pokemon, whether it be TCG, VGC, Go, it's just a lot of fun to just go and just be around a ton of people who share the same interest.
Especially if you're 10, 11 years old, it must be pretty intimidating to go to Hawaii to play Pokemon. But I'm sure she's really looking forward to it. Her sister Lorelai also as well, which we'll be featuring, I think, next game. Got 50 points and is almost clinching her Worlds invite.
Yeah, awesome stuff. Corinne has been, I think, playing Miraidon for a while now. But I guess when I say a while, I think they just got into the game, this season.
Less than a year ago.
Insane to see how much progress that both of them have made.
All right, we're going to see a Fleet-Footed grabbing a card. Nice thing about Miraidon is you do actually see a decent amount of cards sometimes with the Fleet-Footed. Two Paths to the Peaks in hand. Right now, though, Corinne's challenge might be she doesn't know what her opponent is playing. When you're playing a lot of competitive TCG, you kind of know the decks, you know the meta decks. And if someone's playing a non-meta deck, you have to be a little bit careful. You don't want to necessarily put down the Raichu too early because you might need that to swing hard later in the game. You might want to get your Dino Motor going. Just kind of playing cautiously, it looks like.
Looks like she's going to Squawk and Seize away those two Paths to the Peak. Shouldn't matter too much in this matchup. Dialga isn't relying on too many rule box abilities.
Carefully counting her cards. If you grab too many, it can be a challenge.
Something kind of funny in this matchup. She did discard the Mew EX off of the Squawk and Seize, but if she decides to put that back in the deck, could copy Star Chronos and take another turn.
She could use a V-Star power copy. I forget that Mew EX can do that with genome hacking. Star Chronos taking 4 metal energy and 1 colorless. It allows you to take another turn after you do 220 damage. That's absolutely insane.
Yeah, we see what the success that Rapid Strike is seeing right now. And one of the most powerful things that deck can do is take another turn with Medicham. So Dialga, one of the other ways in the format that can take another turn. We see a Bravery Charm coming down onto one of the Miraidons. I think that might make it a little tough for Dialga to deal with. I don't know if they play any tool removal, but we'll have to see. Dialga doing 220 is great, but if it has to hit something a little harder than that, gonna have to need a lot of metal energy on it to Metal Blast.
Right now, both these players looking to start the prize trade. Not seeing any real good way to do that for Xavier or Corinne next turn. Xavier did play an Avery, which did kick Corinne's bench down to 3. Didn't discard the Iron Hand, still probably hoping to take 2 prizes with that Ampy very much. But right now, we'll see some shuffling off camera. Some extremely polite cutting. And rare candy into a Magnezone, I believe.
All right.
Be attaching metal energy. Is that from the top of the deck or the discard pile?
It is from the top of the deck. I believe it's look at the top 8 cards of the deck and attach any metal energy you find. So these decks typically play a high number of metal energy to maximize the chances of hitting them.
Let's
See a couple already.
2, at least 2. Going to be powering up. Is that Zamazenta in the active?
3 energy. I am having a hard time seeing what that one is. I think it is a Zamazenta.
Did he have
I think you're
5 energy?
That was pretty crazy. The
Holy
deck plays
crap.
a lot of metal energy.
So right now we do have quite a few energy on the board for Xavier. If I was Corinne, I would be a little bit concerned that Star Chronos might be coming active here. 4 metal energy and 1 colorless, do that 220 and take another turn. I've never seen this deck played. I started playing about a year and a half ago, and this was just before my time when I started playing, so this is super interesting to me. Leave it to the juniors to bring up non-meta decks.
Yeah, it's always fun to see something a little spicy come into League Night. Yeah, like you mentioned, it's like a lot of people know how to play against the decks you see a lot, but when someone brings that wild card, how do you respond? Do you know the best lines of play?
Corinne right now trying to fill her bench. That Raikou's attack does more damage depending on how many bench Pokemon there are.
Yeah.
Corinne going through her deck. I believe she was using Miraidon's tandem unit to get some more friends. Even though Avery did kick her down to 3 on her bench, tandem unit allows her to go find 2 basic electric Pokemon and put them straight down to the bench.
All right, yeah, we see the Zapdos and the Zeraora coming out. A lot of one prizers, which aren't gonna do too much in this matchup. The Magnezones have a lot of HP, and I think what she's probably gonna be looking for is just taking some knockouts with the Miraidon, possibly the Raikou here. But I don't think Raikou can get a knockout since Xavier's bench is not full.
Have we seen Corinne play a electric generator yet?
I do not believe so.
Probably using that
See
judge
the
to go hunt for
Judge
some more
come through.
cards. Is that a Magnezone V?
And Xavier probably not too upset to see that judge come through. He was just working with a 1-card hand.
Well, sometimes you got to go see cards, and if judge is what you've got,
That's
that's
for
kind of
sure.
what you got to use. Right now, though, Corinne, not necessarily struggling to get energy on the board. Haven't seen any electricity generators. She just have 3 of her lightning energy in her prizes, so less likely that she'll find them with those generators. And then staring down 6 to maybe 8 energy on her opponent's board is tricky. Let's see about juniors too. They play really slowly, so it's actually easier to watch what they're doing.
Yeah, more deliberate with their actions.
Sometimes you do see the whole deck fly into the air as an accident, but
All right, I think we see another Avery in hand, which the second Avery is gonna hurt. Gonna make Raikou pretty ineffective in this matchup.
so Max, you're an expert player. You're going up against a metal deck. You are playing Miraidon. What are you looking to do right now? Hit big damage with Raichu, get Miraidon powered up.
Yeah, I mean, ideally you are able to boss the Dialga before it evolves into the V-Star. We'll see if that happens. We got the full face guard coming down onto the Dialga, so
I don't
now
know
it's going to
what
be a
that
little harder to take
does.
a KO. If the Pokemon it's attached to doesn't have an ability, it reduces incoming damage by, I believe, 20.
It does indeed take 20 less damage from attacks from your opponent's Pokemon if it is attached to a Pokemon that has no ability. Your encyclopedic knowledge of Pokemon is intimidating a little bit. Max.
That is a very, very relevant card in this matchup for sure. Turning the 220 HP of Dialga V into effective 240. Gonna be hard for Corinne to take a knockout here. doesn't have very much energy on the board, so Raichu's not really going to be an option yet.
Potentially put some damage down with Zapdos and then follow up with an Ampy Very Much. But even then, 140 plus 110 might do the math.
We see the Magnezone the Magnezone ability coming through, not hitting any energy this time around.
He spent them all last time.
Yeah.
So right now, Xavier kind of picking his options, seeing if he can move something around the board a little bit. Escape Rope did send up Zeraora. Is that what that is?
Yes.
And you're going to take the knock on with Zeraora. Now Corinne's turn. Going to be promoting that Raikou again. Likely using that Fleet Footed just to try to see some more cards.
Yeah, it looks like Xavier had to use Metal Blast. Did not have the 5th energy available. So not going to use that V-Star power to take, or V-Star attack to take a second turn.
Does he have the V-Star on there, or is he still
Oh, that's right. You know
down?
what? That is still the Dialga V. You're right.
If he's got an Ultra Ball in hand, 2 cards he doesn't want, that is going to be tough to recover from, especially if you're doing 220 for a knockout on this Raikou, and then you get another turn. She has to promote something that's just going to get knocked out again.
Yeah, so gonna need a good response this turn. I'm just trying to think, maybe like a boss KO onto something with Iron Hands. Iron Hands has 230 HP, so would not get knocked out by the Star Chronos.
If Dialga V-Star is indeed powered up with 5 metal energy, that Metal Blast, its one singular attack, will also be doing 200 damage. So that is a dangerous Pokemon entering the field if he can find that V-Star. He does have the boss in hand, so if he can top deck some way of finding the V-Star, I think it's going to be tough for Grin to recover if he's just taking 2-price knockout and then another turn.
Yeah,
I gotta
we'll
get,
see if
I
she
gotta get
gets
this
some
deck.
energy on the board. Here comes the Arven coming through. We'll likely see an electric generator, I would think.
Electric generator, maybe a Forest Seal Stone to go get another electric generator.
Yeah, makes sense to me. Here's the generator coming out.
Dialga, unfortunately, weak to fire. So Corinne's not going to be able to zap these metal Pokemon.
All right, now just gonna have to hope she hits some energy here. Still a lot left in deck. And I don't know if I would hate seeing the Forest Seal Stone used first to grab another generator.
Sure.
Then 1 extra card out of the deck, but there's some arguments to hold it. If she does hit 2 off of this generator, maybe you want to save the Seal Stone for another option later.
If you get 2, you'd probably be putting them on the Miraidon. Is that a Bravery Charm or is that an Energy?
It's
a
a
Bravery Charm. So right now she's going to be powering up something on the bench. Can any of those Pokemon on the bench attack with just 2 energy?
No, not yet. I'm not sure if she has an energy in hand yet either.
All right, Corinne, let's see how this generator treats you.
Yeah, it does not have an access to an energy in hand, so we'll either have to double generator or Seal Stone for the extra energy. All right, first generator coming through.
See the top 5 cards of her deck. Gets to attach up to 2 electric energy to her bench Pokemon. The bummer there is the bench part. If it was active, that card would be broken, I suppose, though.
It would be pretty broken. Oh,
wow, that is a handful of
there
energy.
is all her energy. So 2 coming down onto the Miraidon with the Bravery Charm, I would think.
She can find one way to shuffle in her hand and find an energy, or she could just use the Forest Seal Stone to go get that energy and then pull that Raikou out of the active with a hard retreat.
And something to consider, too, is that early Avery, she had to discard her Raichu V, which is definitely her best response onto Dialga V-Star. Not sure if she plays a second Raichu or some kind of recovery, but with 2 Flaffy set up, it's pretty doable to power up that Raichu.
Raichu does 60 damage for each electric energy discarded. So if you've got a board full of energy, you can one-shot pretty much anything, but it is expensive. That being said, combined with Flaffy's Dino Motor, you can take that energy you've just discarded and then just put it back onto your Pokemon again. So kind of a little bit of a cool sequencing there. It does have 3 energy in the prize cards. Well, we have a moment here. I'd like to give a shout out to Andrew, who helped set us up all this tech stuff. Andrew, you are the man. Thank you for setting this up for us. We appreciate that. Forest Seal Stone to the Raikou.
Looks like she's going to use it.
What are you picking, Max? You going for a Jenny, or you're just going to get the guaranteed 1 energy?
I would. It's hard to say. I think you go for the generator. You still have a lot of energy left in deck, and right now if you're Miraidon, you're not in a great spot. So I think you want to maybe take the risk and try to get an extra energy on there.
Let's say Corinne showing why she's currently qualified for Worlds, and you're still working on it. She goes for the 1 electric energy.
Makes sense. I think going for the safe play here makes sense.
I mean that with all the respect in the world.
For sure. Yeah, so gonna do 220 with the Miraidon, which will not be a KO onto this Dialga, thanks to the full face guard.
If this next turn Xavier can find the V-Star, it is going to be tough. Miraidon does have 220 health, so that would be a KO, and then the V-Star ability allowing him to take another turn. Could you theoretically loop, Yoga Loop, with that ability?
You could. You
3
definitely
turns
could
in a
do
row.
it.
I know what I'm bringing next week. I'm going to see Flaffy, an upgrade from Mareep into Flaffy. The Dynamotor ability allowing you to take an electric energy out of your discard pile and attach it to a bench Pokemon. And one of the reasons Miraidon's so powerful is even if you do discard a lot of energy, just going through your deck, that Flaffy Dynamotor allows you to put it back where you need it.
All right, and we'll see the Dynamotor pop right now, putting that 1 energy onto Miraidon.
Get a peek at her discard pile as well. We did see the Iron Hands go into the discard pile, I believe, with one of the Averys. Might be bringing that back if she can hunt down a single prizer from the bench. But right now, we'll probably see a hard retreat.
Has another Bravery Charm in hand. Wouldn't hate seeing that come down onto something. Onto the other Miraidon. To try to play around.
She did have a Lost Vacuum in hand too, so if she wanted to, she could get rid of that Forest Seal Stone and put a Brave Return there as well. I don't know how much good that would necessarily do, but...
Oh, she's got the Lost Vacuum in hand, then that means she can take a KO here.
Oh, she is going to take a peek at it. Playing intelligently. You're always welcome to read your opponent's cards.
Yeah, if she's got the Vacuum in hand, this will be a KO onto this Dialga. And I think the downside of the Dialga is if you don't get an early Star Chronos, the Dialga is very vulnerable to being KO'd.
Am I mistaken? Did she have Lost Vacuum? Attach the Bravery Charm to the other Miraidon? I swore she did. Max and I are just sitting here holding our breath, waiting to see if I was right or wrong.
We'll see if... I'm thinking if she had it, she would have played it.
She did not have it. My mistake.
No worries, no worries. And we'll see a 220 attack coming through from Miraidon, I think, here. Actually doing 200, thanks to the full face guard.
It was a Miraidon in her hand, is what I was thinking was a Lost Vacuum.
And an Arven.
All right, Xavier gonna spend an Arven and a barrel to go find, I'm assuming, that V-Star. We might see Xavier going twice this turn.
Yes, but...
Did attach a Bravery Charm, though.
Did attach a Bravery
All
Charm.
right.
So if we see the Star Chronos and nothing else, like no Vacuum or no Boss's Orders, this Star Chronos will not be taking a KO.
On the first turn, no. On the second turn, I suppose you could hit it with that 200 damage for the energy? Is that the logic here, I suppose?
Yeah, you could do that, but at that point... you're not. You're not taking full advantage of Star Chronos, right? You're using 2 turns to take 1 KO.
Yep.
All right, we see the Magnetism V ability coming through. Hit 1 energy. That was the energy that Xavier needed to use Star Chronos.
It does give him the benefit of using 2 supporters, and you get to draw another card for turn.
Yeah, and right now, Corinne's board is looking a little weak. Only has the energies on the active Miraidon. I'm not sure. So with 5 metal energy,
6
metal energy. So that does.
It's 40 per, so that'd be 300.
Yeah.
Wait, am I wrong?
280, right? Yeah, it does 280 because it does 40 plus. So it should be. So it could elect to not start Chronos here and just use Metal Blast to take a KO.
Take a KO.
Hold on to that V-Star power.
And then next turn, if something is promoted or you can get a boss to bring something up that doesn't have that health, then you could take that second turn. Very smart play from Xavier, saving the ability, even though it's super cool to use. Maybe he has opted to... Oh, that wouldn't take the KO. It wouldn't take the KO.
He did opt to use Metal Blast, which I think makes a lot of sense. You're not getting too much value out of Star Chronos this turn. and hopefully is able to draw a boss's orders. I think they're just double checking that the amount of damage there is correct.
So it is 40 more damage for each metal energy attached to this Pokemon. So that's 40 times 6 is 240 plus 40 is 260. So
280.
280, excuse me.
Yeah, so should be enough to take KO a Miraidon with Bravery Charm, which has 270 HP.
And you get a calculator here in the studio if we could get one of those, Andrew. I'd appreciate that. All right, opting to promote Raikou for the fleet-footed. Does find a generator.
All right, that was a huge
Back in the
top
game.
deck.
She does have the ability to go get another one, too, with the Arven in her hand. Then get a Dynamotor.
Gonna
Fleet-footed
Fleetfoot
first.
Hits Ultra Ball.
Could go get another Dynamotor Flaffy to attach a bunch of energy. Opting for the generator first.
Still quite a few energy left in deck, so I imagine she'll be hitting at least one off of this.
She does indeed. I see that Miraidon starting to get powered up. She could use that Ultra Ball to pull 2 energy out of the discard pile with the Dynamotor.
See the Arven coming through, likely grabbing a... I don't know if there's any tools left in deck. Possibly another Forest Seal Stone. There's the generator.
Using this opportunity to count her energy remaining. There's the Lost Vacuum I thought I saw. That energy was all at the bottom of the deck, though, so this is going to be a beneficial shuffle as well.
All right, and I'm not sure if she had an energy in hand. As it stands, does not have a way to move this Raikou.
That's a good point. She did play the Arven, got the generator and stuff, does not have a tool that she can really attach any place meaningful. So it might just be this Raikou not quite getting KO'd again. Actually getting KO'd, but not still be able to use Star Chronos.
Right. All right. So we see the generator coming through.
Did shuffle the deck. Maybe she'll find some energy. Found
It's one more. Can Dynamotor the third energy necessary for the attack. But again, I think this Raikou is going to be stuck in the active spot.
All right, Corinne sort of weighing her options, likely going to power up that Miraidon. At the same time, though, if Xavier were to boss his orders up that Miraidon, she's kind of left with an empty field with no energy.
Yeah. I think Xavier's showing the power of Dialga V-Star, able to climb to huge damage numbers very quickly thanks to that Magnezone.
I was going to say hitting 5 or 6 energy on that one Magnezone also does not hurt at all.
And, you know, it like kind of doubles, right? Like you get all that energy onto your board, but then you're also getting all that energy out of your deck to draw into some of your other cards, which is really nice.
It shows the mind of a professional TCG player like Max. He thinks that way. Looking at Xavier's hand here. A rare candy into another Magnezone.
So we'll be able to use that ability twice per turn now.
Do you just put all the energy on Dialga then and just hit 5,000 damage?
Yeah, that's you could elect to do that. Oh, it does have the boss's orders.
Bring it up.
Yeah, gonna just probably Metal Blast again and leave Corinne's board looking pretty empty. I don't know how much energy is even left in the deck. At least one.
He finds that one, bringing it... Oh, opting to choose it, attach it to someplace else. He does have enough energy, though.
Yeah, I think possibly like with the amount of energy left in deck, maybe just powering up one of the other attackers. I believe Zamazenta attacks for 3 energy, and it does I think like 220 or something like that.
That's the magic number for the Miraidon deck. Gonna opt to take the gonna do the 220 to Miraidon. With the Bravey Charm, it's gonna survive that just with 58 health left.
And I guess something that could be cool this turn, I don't know if Xavier's playing Lost Vacuum, but if he has the Arvid in hand, could go for a Lost Vacuum to vacuum the Charm and then finish the game with Metal Blast.
So he uses this turn to take the KO just by reducing the total health, and then something gets promoted to be knocked out by the 280 plus damage.
We're going to see the boss's orders coming through.
Does he have... Cannot use Arvid anymore, uses supported for turn. Attaching for turn there. I'm interested to see what he's cooking here. Might be opting just to take this KO take the other hit from the Miraidon and then knock that out?
Yeah, well, this Dialga V-Star will be going down from this Miraidon this turn, as it took a hit
Oh, you're
from,
right,
the,
it
from
did.
the first one. Yeah, I think I maybe would have liked to see, instead of the Star Chronos coming through, or the boss's orders, to just take the KO with Metal Blast and remove that threat from Corinne's board.
A bit of an unconventional KO, but a cool one.
For sure. Yeah, so I think, from what I'm seeing, all right, we see the... Just took the KO with Miraidon.
She quickly took the KO with Miraidon. Miraidon cannot attack this turn, so she'll have to figure out a way to get that out of the active.
Another Magnezone V-Star build,
Hits
or Magnezone
one.
V, not V, regular Magnezone coming through, attaching another energy.
Did see, I believe, a counter catcher in Xavier's deck. Not going to need that this game, it looks like. So right now, Xavier is looking to get his... What is in the active packs?
I
With the
think
art, I
think
can't
it's a Zamazenta V. I'm not super sure, but I believe it's a Zamazenta V.
Did 220 damage, not quite enough to KO the Miraidon. See what she chooses to do. She going to peony or scoop?
I believe she
think
is
we had a
scooping the
scoop.
game up.
All right, an interesting game. And a polite fist bump. I love the juniors always do like a really nice, gentle, polite fist bump.
Yeah,
Yeah, so Max, an interesting game. Tell me your thoughts. I didn't know what to expect out of the metal deck the entire time.
yeah, I think the Dialga deck is one that's like, it has a lot of variance, right? Like if you pop off with that Magnezone early and you hit a lot of energy, you can just go off to the races and never give your opponent a chance to respond. And that's kind of what we saw happen.
That's exactly what we saw happen. It was amazing. All that energy flooding the board so early. Miraidon known for being able to do that, but not quite as fast as Xavier's deck. We will be right back with an interview with Xavier. You have time to get some snacks. Stick around. Welcome back, Pokemon fans. We are here with Hector and Ruby and their dad. Excuse me, Xavier, Ruby, and Hector. Forgive me here. Xavier, you won the game. I have some questions for you. Do you have 1 second to talk with me?
Yes.
All right. We saw early in that game you got set up really well, and then you used Magnezone's ability to go find Metal Energy. How many Metal Energy did you find, and how did that make you feel?
Well, I think I found about 4 or less. I didn't really count, and I put it on my Dialga. So when I evolve it to a V-Star, it can be ready to fight. And I also put it on my Zamazenta and maybe my backup Dialga, just in case if that one fainted.
That is an absolutely brilliant plan. Max, who was in here with me, is actually a regional champion. He was really impressed by that as well. On later in the game, we saw you getting ready to use the ability that allows you to take sort of two turns in a row. What were you looking forward to that, or what were you trying to get set up there?
Well, so when I defeat her Pokemon, I could take another turn and defeat her. The other one, when I had 4 prizes or 3.
That is fantastic. Well, Xavier, thanks for joining us. Ruby, thank you for joining us in the studio. Hector, thanks for supporting the Pokemon TCG. Everyone's always welcome here. We will be right back. Everyone watching, grab some snacks. We'll be back with the next game. Thanks for coming, guys. Great job.
Hey, thank you.
Welcome back, Pokemon Tuesday TCG fans. We are back with another game. This one is a Charizard mirror match. Can we go to the cam? There we go. We've got Lorelei versus Parker. A Charizard mirror match. Max, we were just talking about this is a cerebral game.
It is. It is. There's a lot of intricacies to the Charizard mirror match. Going with, do you want to go first or second? Like, I think a lot of times you want to go second in this mirror match and just try to play supporter and get set up.
Trying to use that Arven to get the Battle VIP pass to get set up. I mean, the question for me though is, we were talking about you see justified gloves in these just for this matchup.
Just for this matchup.
All right, we'll see if Lorelei is playing the justified gloves. Lorelei actually coming back from a top 64 in San Antonio. She's 10 points shy of her World's Invite once she maxes out her locals, which will happen any day now. So a very, very skilled player.
And then we got, okay, so seeing from Parker's side, we're seeing the Arceus V-Star. So a little bit different version of Charizard that, I think right when Obsidian Flames came out, I think that Arc Pidgeysard was what we were seeing a lot. And I think now, like, most of the Zard players have kind of shifted to, cutting out the Arceus and just playing the Pidgeot. But still a few people around playing the Arceus still, and finding any 2 cards from your deck is a very powerful thing to do.
Extremely powerful ability. That paired with Pidgeot EX's ability, which is just Forest Seal Stone essentially every turn, you can see a lot of what you need, but there's a lot of setup there.
Definitely.
Whereas turn 2 Arven Charizard is consistent. Is that the reason we play it? Consistency?
Yeah, definitely. Super consistent deck.
All right. Both the players, I think, had maybe a mulligan or 2. Oh, excuse me. It looks like Lorelei's got a 3 counter on her deck right now.
Yeah, so I think, like you said, the Justified Gloves, very important card in this matchup. And, so if one side is playing those gloves and the other side isn't, that does put a huge advantage to the side that is playing the gloves.
I think right now Lorelei is going to be taking 4 cards for mulligans. That's what that counter means. Hopefully Lorelei does not need all those extra cards. She does have a Charmander, 2 Charmanders prize. The setup's going to be a little bit tough.
Yeah, that you definitely don't want to see 2 Charmanders prize in the mirror match. Can only ever have 2 on board.
So Max, in your mind, you see that. You go through your deck, you get your first look. You see 2 Charmanders down. What are you setting up? You get your Pidgey and your Charmander and your other Charmander, or what are you going for then?
If I hit Battle VIP Pass, you always want to get 2 Charmanders down for sure. The Rotom V is another very popular card in Charizard right now, just allowing you to draw 3 more cards on your first turn, which can be great for getting set up. And now Parker's starting the Arceus, and that's pretty good starter, I'd say, in this version of the deck.
And always want to get the Arceus down, so on your second turn, you can get the Arceus V-Star, hopefully.
Yeah, also seeing the Delphox V in hand for Parker, which also another card that he's playing a lot of different attacks. He's got the Entei, he's got the Delphox. The Delphox not going to be too helpful in this matchup as Lorelei has started the Manaphy.
I don't think that Manaphy is going to make it to turn 3 of this game. If she doesn't get something set up on her board, it will definitely be retreated if she can. But the Entei doing more damage depending on how many Pokemon you kind of share with your opponents on the benches.
Entei, not a bad attacker. But I think really you want to just be swinging with Charizards for the most part. Maybe let the Arceus take a hit and then go into a Charizard. Really, it's like this matchup a lot of times comes down to who can KO the other player's Pidgeot, counter catcher the Pidgeot, knock it out, and then Iono them. And a lot of times that's what the Charizard mirror comes down to.
So you take away the Pidgeot option of going and getting the card they need to save themselves, and then Iono them down to 4, 3, 2 cards, and then sort of win the prize trade from there. And we have seen the Charizard deck sort of like, not necessarily purify, but get more into Charizard is really the only attacker in the more modern Charizard decks. And some of these early decks like the Arceus and Entei and the Delphox, it was kind of, we hadn't figured the deck out yet. At this point, it does seem to be Arven with Justified Glove seems to be the cleanest way to play it.
Yeah, and we see Lorelei hit the Mew off of that Colress's Experiment. pretty
Come
good
on.
find.
Battle VIP pass. There's 2. There's 3. 4. Found a counter catcher. Lost vacuum. Does not hit the
Doesn't
battle
find it.
VIP
That's
pass.
pretty unfortunate. If she misses getting a Charmander down this turn, it's looking pretty rough for Lorelei, as Parker's setup was pretty good.
I am actually looking forward to Battle VIP Pass rotating. It's a great card, but enough's enough.
I'm with you there. I think it'll be really cool to see what kind of options decks go with. There's been a lot of talk about Hisuian Basculin with his Gather the Crew attack. Miraidon can tandem unit, so might become even more popular, as it's one of the few decks that can just guarantee setup.
On some of the newer Charizard decks playing Call for Family Pidgey as well. 1 energy, you can go get 2 basics, put them on your bench. Sort of a consistency thing.
Yeah, we'll probably see, Golden Go has also a Call for Family Gimme Ghoul.
It does.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, so decks with Access to Call for Family, might see a little bit of a rise in popularity.
Right now, Lorelei opting to get Bidoof and a Charmander. She did find a level ball, allowing her to get that Charmander, and then a Bidoof, hopefully for some draw support later in the game. A Barrel, Industrious Incisors, drawing up to 5 in your hand, is the goal for her here, to just sort of seeing more cards, in addition to if she can get a Pidgey down. But right now, Ultra Balling away for, what is she looking for?
Gonna get that second Charmander down. Makes a lot of sense. Definitely don't want to get caught with a boss's orders next turn on your only Charmander. That would essentially seal the win for Parker. So good play from Lorelei getting that second Charmander down.
Thank you to our heroes that are currently watching this game as it flicks in and out of focus. I believe Andrew is over there trying to work on the camera right now. Get it focused up. We can generally guess what the cards are based on the art. There we go.
A little more familiar with Charizard than I am with the Dialga deck.
All right, so Lorelei ending her turn with 2 Charmanders. Seeing the Arceus V-Star go down, you use the V-Star ability to go find any 2 cards you want. So you're going to grab another Charmander, or is that Radiant Charizard?
I believe that is another Charmander.
It is getting worse. There we go.
All right, and we see Starbirth coming out for Rare Candy Pidgeot. Makes a lot of sense. We'll probably be seeing a quick search for a Charizard, looks like. Has the second candy in hand.
Going to use Infernal Rain to go get 3 energy and attach him to his Pokemon any way he would like. Probably going to see... Does Entei have a 1 retreat cost?
It has a 3 retreat cost.
Wow.
So
Let's see Entei taking a swing here.
We sure will. And I don't know. I don't think he played a supporter yet. I don't believe so. So maybe if he has a boss's orders in hand, I would love to see that come out onto a Charmander.
Indeed. Lorelei would be relegated to just going forward with 1. I do believe she plays 1 or 2 Super Rods, so she could get it back, but that is an additional thing you need to set up on your bench. Momentary glimpses of the game taking place. Opting to put 2 on the Entei and 1 on the Charizard.
We do see the Delphox come down. Again, I think it's a cool attacker in this deck, but when the Manaphy's already in play, maybe
Canceling Clone, maybe?
You know what? If he's got the Canceling Clone, that would be crazy. And that'd be a 300 IQ play for sure.
In the mirror match, you need to bring a Canceling Cologne for your opponent's Manaphy so you can play the Delphox. All right, so Arceus right now on the bench, 280 HP. Sort of not necessarily dead weight, but not going to be used much. Parker opting... Excuse me. We don't have names on the screen here.
I believe it is Parker.
Parker, thank you. Opting to take the KO on the Mew that was in the active. Lorelei promoting a Charmander.
Yeah, so Parker took 1 prize last turn. Charizard is now able to swing on Lorelei's side for 210 damage. If she has the Choice Belt in deck, could be looking to take a KO on this Entei V this turn.
Defiance Band would also be active because she's a little bit down on prizes, and her counter catcher. So she could start thinning out that bench if she would like. And we don't have any idea what is happening other than
she
colors.
did candy out a Charizard. So we are going to be seeing the Charizard attack this turn. The question is she going to be able to find that damage modifier in order to take a knockout or play a supporter to boss something else on the bench? we'll have to see. Interesting thing from Lorelai's deck here. Looks like she's playing the Colress Charizard.
She is. So Cramorant
So
becomes active.
Cramorant is a thing. It does have 4 cards in the Lost Zone right now, so that Cramorant Spit Innocently is live.
Unfortunately, Cramorant Spit Endlessly is not affected by weakness, so you can't just one-hit KO some of these water-weak Pokemon. I'm sure in playtesting they had to change that. But right now, Lorelei has her Charizard powered up. Where did she put that other energy?
Might have only elected to just attach 2 from the deck.
Alright.
Seems like that is what happened. Cramorant, good way to clean up some of these KOs. The one weakness of the Charizard deck is that it doesn't swing particularly hard early game, only doing 180 damage if no prize cards have been taken.
Opting to bring up the Charizard. Looks like she's going to put some damage on it this turn.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Hitting into the Entei doesn't do too much for you. Putting damage on Charizard's definitely the way to win this matchup.
Indeed. You do have to two-shot it, but if she wanted to, she could retreat into the Cramorant and finish it off. Right now, Patrick is on odd prizes, so handing him one Cramorant is not the end of the world.
You know what? Right now, the Cramorant isn't taking a KO on that Charizard.
Oh, it's not?
So it has
330.
210.
Excuse
Yeah,
me.
so it's going to be 10 short, but could have Vitality Band in deck. And I would imagine that she does have access to that Vitality Band, or would make sense to me.
She did have the Justified Gloves there. That could have done a little bit more damage, but not necessarily putting that down. How many prize cards does she need to have her opponent have taken to have the Justified Gloves be a KO with a one-hit Charizard? Is
4
it
prizes.
Four
Yes.
prizes. All right, watching a blurry game of Pokemon. Going to be retreating into the Arceus, which has 1 energy on it.
Played the switch card, the switch it looks like, so was able to maintain the energy on the Charizard.
I'm going to real quick be right back and go talk to Andrew about the camera stuff here.
Yeah, looks like we'll be seeing the double turbo energy come in onto the Arceus. So likely we'll be seeing a 180 swing onto this Charizard, which is pretty. That's what a Charizard would be doing. So this Arceus, not a bad attack right here.
Lorelei's counter catcher is still going to be active, though. She could bring up that Charizard, or Boss's orders would put him down a little bit. Parker, though, playing intelligently. I would like to say thank you to Andrew and Ryan, who are currently working on the camera issues right now and doing an excellent job fighting a little bit. Appreciate the comments in the chat, Mark. We are working to focus things as best as we can right now. Got the hero, Andrew, who's working furiously at his computer to get everything set up. Right now, though, Arceus, did it take any damage last turn, Max?
I don't believe so. It was the Charizard got swung into, and then Parker switched into the Arceus to punch into Lorelei's Charizard.
All right. Going to see Lorelei boss orders up the Charizard and is going to take a KO.
B-barreling for 4 cards here, 5 cards here.
Is that Radiant Serena?
That is Radiant Serena right there.
Oh, heal Charizard. I was not expecting that.
Yeah, I think it's a tech that I think we saw some Charizards playing at San Antonio, particularly for the Rapid Strike matchup, but also for the Iron Valiant Entei deck.
All right, so Iron Valiant placing damage counters, Rapid Strike placing damage counters, Radiant Serena just saying, nope,
Yeah.
we're going to skip that this turn.
I think one of the best ways right now to beat Charizard decks is the spreading at damage and then using Devolution tool to de-evolve Charizards into Charmanders. And if there's enough damage counters on those Charizards, the Charmanders just get knocked out.
They are just gone. So Lorelei opting to take the KO on that Charizard, going ahead in the prize trade. That means if Parker is playing any counter catchers or any Defiance bands, that he's doing a little bit extra damage and has a little bit more control. Shout out to Ryan in the chat trying to fix the technical issues. We really appreciate that. Ryan, the organizer here at the Forge, does an awesome job keeping TCG, VGC, and Go nice and organized. All right, we'll see how Parker responds to this. Gonna super rod some Pokemon back into the deck.
Get another Charmander come down. A lot of energy on the board for Parker. Elected to put some of those energies onto the Delphox.
Like we saw Xavier say last game, probably looking for some backups.
All right, and KO onto that Charizard with the Arceus.
All right, gonna see the Cramorant come up. I love the Cramorant in this because Cramorant just requires 4 in the Lost Zone to attack for no energy. If you're playing Colress, that's just 2 of them. Or Lost Vacuum, too.
Yeah, very easy to get that Cramorant live in this version of the Charizard deck. I like it a lot.
What a great tech card. Just a
110
single
is just,
prizer.
Yeah, such a relevant number to hit on a lot of things.
All right.
Another Charizard coming out. And right now, this Charizard is swinging for 270 currently. So, if Lorelei is able to find either Defiance Band or Choice Belt or Vitality Band, going to be able to one-shot this Arceus V-Star.
Defiance Band, just for the Pokemon fans that aren't in the know, do 30 extra damage if you are down on prizes. So right now, because Lorelei's behind a little bit, some of these mechanics starting to pop up in the Scarlet and Violet era, she's going to do more damage. A lot of these Charizard decks, too, it looks like when they're down, they're actually at their most powerful because if they've taken 5 prizes, you are one-shot anything in the TCG with the exception of maybe Goodra that's just used its attack.
Yeah. There's not much that Charizard, when their opponent's at 1 prize left, can't one-shot.
All right, Lorelei barreling up to 5 in her hand. See what her options are.
It's looking like she doesn't have access to that damage modifier, so possibly might just to elect to swing with Cramorant this turn.
Yeah, not necessarily the worst thing, giving up 1 prize to put some more damage on the board. That makes it easier to boss KO something later in the game. Right now, though, that Charizard, Entei, and Delphox on the bench are all sort of Parker's backup. You think you're going for the Charizard knockout here if you could find the damage modifier?
Definitely.
Not quite. Would a Justified Gloves do enough? It would just add 30. So you're not quite there yet.
You're not quite there. But putting damage onto that Charizard is pretty good.
Softening it up for later. So right now, Lorelei either going to be hunting down a damage modifier to take down this Arceus V-Star, go to 2 prizes, which is just 1 boss's orders away from winning in a lot of games. We're going to cram 110 into the Arceus.
Yeah, and with that double turbo is definitely primed to retreat. So if Parker is able to find a boss's orders, I definitely would like to see a boss's orders come through onto that Charizard EX.
So right now, Parker at odd prizes. When we say that, it means there's no 3 prize Pokemon on Lorelei's bench. So he has to take at least 2 KOs, maybe 3 if he doesn't have the control to get that Charizard up. So right now, it's more of a puzzle for Parker where Lorelei needs to maybe let him take 1 prize, and then she is swinging for massive damage with that Charizard.
Yeah, I think Parker taking a KO onto this Cramorant right here would allow. There we go. We see a boss's orders onto the Manaphy.
Maybe going for a Delphox play to take 2 prizes in a turn.
Yeah, that'll do it. If it takes a K on this Manaphy this turn and then is able to boss a 1 prizer next turn, could go for the double KO on either like the B barrel and the Cramorant.
Indeed.
Trinity Noving that last energy needed onto the Delphox.
I forgot that Arceus can do that. You can attach 3 basic energy from your deck to your V Pokemon in any way you like. So that Delphox is now fully powered up. So right now, Lorelei probably wants to be... Let's see here. Right now, that Delphox on the bench might be actually the best target for this if she sees the threat of the spread damage coming down. That being said, if she takes those 2 prizes... Parker's Charizard will be doing massive damage as well. And if he finds a damage modifier, could potentially take out her Charizard in exchange.
Yeah, I think Be interesting to see what line of play Lorelei goes for.
Does have a super rod. She could potentially super rod the Manaphy back in the deck. Nope,
Just gonna
opts to
choose
take
to
the
take the
Arceus.
KO.
Could potentially super rod and then maybe go hunt down the Manaphy to protect her bench. I don't know, bit of
Yeah.
a risky play.
Yeah, it looks so. Parker does quick search for the boss's orders. Is going to be able to boss up either the Cramorant or the B-Barrel and win with the Delphox's V attack.
We were wondering why he was playing that, and this is exactly why he's playing it.
Yeah, well played. He just took his time, waited for the right opportunity to target down that Manaphy.
There's the boss's orders.
Oh, yeah. I was
Radiant
thinking Radiant
Serena,
Serena, what has 140, but it's weak to fire.
Weak to
so
fire.
Gonna do it.
And take out the Cramorant and the Radiant Serena for 2 prizes. And that is the game for Parker. Parker actually a really fantastic player. Beats me with his Miraidon deck a lot. Beat me with Mew a lot. A really smart young man. Max, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it was awesome to see, like we were saying, a lot of players have been leaning towards more of that Pidgeot build without the Arceus, but so it's cool to see the Arceus get some shine here.
Are you going to be playing Charizard with the Delphox at your next tournament?
Charizard's on my list for Charlotte, so we'll see.
Love it. We'll be right back with winner's interview with Parker. You have time once again to grab a snack. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the Forge League Night. I'm here with Parker, our winner from round 2. Parker, congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we saw you playing the Arceus version of Charizard when I think a lot of players have been leaning more towards just the Pidgeot. What made you want to play the Arceus in your Charizard deck?
I just really liked how Arceus with the Starbird could immediately just get 2 cards. And since, if I had a Pidgeot, I could just immediately get Rare Candy and Pidgeot. So then I can get that 1 card guaranteed every turn very quickly, because I think it's a hassle trying to just use balls and other cards to try to get those Rare Candies and Pidgeot EX, since I think it's a lot slower too a pace.
Yeah, for sure. We saw that you had a lot of different attackers in that deck. You have the Arceus, you have the Charizard, you have the Delphox, you have the Entei.
Yeah.
Even seeing the Trinity Nova come through to finish powering up that Delphox, I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
What's your favorite attacker in the deck that you have?
I think so far right now it's being my Arceus, because I don't use my Charizards that often, because I had to wait until they take prize cards, because otherwise they're not as strong as I want them to be. Because a flat 180 is not as strong as I want.
Yeah.
Because doing straight up 200 damage or 180 and gain energy to power up my Vs is much more useful to me than just doing 180. Unless they already had took a lot of prize cards, then I will be utilizing my Charizard.
Awesome.
And honestly, my Charizard's like the Pokemon that just powers up my other ones. I don't really use it a lot for attacking either.
Yeah, so more of an engine than like your main attacker.
Yeah.
So what advice would you have for anyone who maybe wants to pick up a Charizard EX deck?
I would say that you have to make sure you get cards that you can power up with your Pokemon very quickly. You have to use like lots of supporters, or at least lots of balls, or to get Pokemon out. And also, if you also play Charizard, I recommend try to go first on your turn, so then when your next turn comes, you can immediately get that evolution in play. Because if you go second, then you have to wait another turn, and your opponent gets a chance to evolve and attack you back.
All right, awesome stuff, Parker. Congrats on the win again, and thanks for sharing our thoughts about Charizard.
Thank you.
Hope you got your snacks. Tuesday night Pokemon fans, we are back with Sam on the bottom and Paul on the top. Max, you're familiar with these players. Want to tell us what they're playing?
Yeah, we got Sam on Miraidon. She's been on a little bit of a streak lately. Won the league challenge over the weekend, and she'll be playing against Paul, her brother actually, and he is on Lost Box. I believe it's Roaring Moon Lost Box with like the Radiant Charizard.
Looks like he's got a prized Dragonite, which is going to be tough for him to take some of the early KOs. Is he playing a Roaring Moon by chance?
He is playing Roaring Moon.
All right, and I take that back. Shouldn't be too hard.
You know what? And I take it back. I thought he was playing with the Radiant Zard, but I believe he actually might be playing with the Greninja.
All right. A choice sometimes that going between the two, Radiant Charizard allowing for more damage, Radiant Greninja allowing for spread, and then just a lot more draw in that Turbo Lost Box. But Sam on Miraidon did have a mulligan on her side. See if she can find a basic Pokemon. Hopefully Miraidon.
Yeah, I think Paul also having the Iron Hands EX in his deck. I believe so.
Is this like Towards deck plus?
It is similar. Yeah, I think.
All right.
There's a couple of different versions running around. I think it's probably pretty close to the Tord box.
Tord box. Max coined that term here first. Tord box. All right. Gonna be Paul taking his one mulligan. Prize card's not looking too terrible for Sam. Got one energy, a research, Mareep. I mean, if you're gonna pick your prize cards, that's about as good as it gets.
For sure. Paul, on the other hand, prizing the Dragonite does hurt. Very good attacker in this matchup.
Only down one water energy though. How many water energy does he play? 2 or 3?
I believe 3.
All right, not much of a sacrifice there. Plenty of switching in his hand. Got 2 Mirage Gates. Question is, does he have a way to get a Comfey?
Yeah, a lot of Mirage Gates in his hand. That is not what you want to see. Looks like he's just going to have to pass. Ah, that's tough.
Oh, turn 2 can do an attack. Squawk ability going to allow Sam to see a whole lot of cards.
Yeah, I think Sam is going to win right now.
Is this going to be a turn 2 donk?
This is looking like the donk coming through.
All right. Electric Generator allowing you to look at the top 5 cards of your deck, and then you can attach any electric energy you find there.
that
Oh,
is
she
game.
found 2.
Well,
Right now, we're only doing, what's that?
yeah, you're right.
40 damage?
80 damage with
80 damage
weakness. So
with-
we'll need to find one more bench Pokemon, but does have Forest Seal Stone, so
And can Squawk and Seize
can
for
Squawk
a
and
whole new
Seize.
pile of cards. Squawk ability EX, sort of a liability later in the game, but has an extremely powerful ability you can only use in your first turn. You can discard your hand, which is very beneficial to a lot of decks, but beneficial to every deck. You get to see 6 new cards. But right now, though, we'll see what she's going to see. Can put the Mew down. I think she's got it right now, doing 60 damage, doubled for the weakness. Cramorant has only 110 health.
only 110 health. So right now, swinging for 120 if she chooses to attack.
I think a little bit of hands in the air. Sam wondering, is that it? Is this everything? I mean, she could grab a Miraidon and then just fill her bench up just to
Yeah,
be sure.
that would also do it. Gonna go
Squawk
for the
and Seize.
Squawk and Seize coming through.
There's an Iron Hands. And I believe one other Pokemon was in there. Might be a Dynamo or Flaffy.
Yeah.
This is one of those things in the Pokemon TCG. Like, sometimes you just start your game and you're like, well, I'm about to lose.
Yeah. Definitely, as much skill can be in the games, there's always going to be that element of luck.
There is Tandem Unit getting the Zamazora and taking the knockout. Well, Max, that was a quick
That was a game, if I've ever seen one.
All right. Well, Pokemon fans, sometimes that is how it goes. Sometimes you get turn 2 donked. Sometimes you are the person that gets turn 2 donked. Hang around. Max, you're going to have a very in-depth interview with the winner, I'm assuming.
Sure will.
It is your significant other. Stick around, fans. We will be right back with the interview. Cheers.
Welcome back to the Forge League Night. I'm here with our winner from round 3, Samantha. Samantha, congrats on your win. Tell us a little bit about your thoughts in that game.
Thank you. Yeah. I was surprised when he passed after his first turn. Usually a Lost Box player will want to hit Battle VIP Pass and get some more Pokemon out, but he passed. So I took that as my chance. I knew that I could definitely pull off a turn 2 attack no matter what, whether that's with Raikou or with Iron Hands. Obviously, usually I'd go for the Iron Hands play, but because he only had one Pokemon in the active, I knew I could donk him.
Yeah, we saw you play that generator, hit the 2 energy, easy peasy. You have been playing Miraidon for a little while now. What do you really like about the Miraidon deck?
I think the deck that I'm playing right now is pretty consistent if I hit my generators, but even if I don't hit my generators, usually my Flaffies will help me out, with attacking. And then I've gotten used to like the flow of like switching, and I don't play beach courts, but I haven't needed them. So that's been nice. I've been playing it for a while, so I feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, you most recently this weekend piloted it to a challenge win.
Yes, I did win a challenge. To be fair, it was when everyone was out of town for San Antonio, but I'll take it.
So what advice do you have for any players who might be new who are looking to pick up Miraidon?
Yeah, I think get to know your attackers well. Also, there's a benefit of knowing that a lot of popular Pokemon are weak to lightning, like Swakability, Lumineon, so like Cramorant.
Cramorant.
So that's a nice benefit. And then also knowing how to play Iron Hands is a big plus of the deck.
Yeah, awesome. Well, Samantha, congrats on your win. Thanks a lot for doing this interview with me. And best of luck at your future events.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks again for turning into the Forge League Night. We had a lot of fun watching some cool decks, and we'll see you next time.